Hello and greetings, everybody. Welcome here to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So we're back here, day number 27 now. Day 27 in the series that we're running for the month of December, which is Progressive Rock Solo Artist Album Wars. That's a mouthful. Anyways, so for those of you who haven't been watching this series, basically Ben has given me 32 bands. We're doing battles. We've done the first. We're on to the third round now. We're in the semifinals here. The quarterfinals here. And we're doing one band against another. He's put the band battles against each other. My job is to listen to both albums and then talk about what I like and don't like about the albums. And then I have to pick one of the two. So far, it hasn't been overly tough. I've had a couple of really close ones that I had to actually make the decision while I was actually talking about them because I wasn't even sure. This one's going to be another one of those tough ones. So the two albums we're doing today for the battle are John Anderson's Elias of Sun Hill, which is from 1976, and Rick Wakeman's Journey to the Center of the Earth, which is from 1974, I believe. Maybe it's 75. I think it's 74. I haven't marked as 74, so I'm going to go with that. So the first thing, they both have something in common. They're both definitely what they would call, what is the word? Damn, I can't think of it. So we'll go on and talk about something else first until I do remember what it is. So John Anderson and Rick Wakeman have a couple things in common. The first one that they have in common is they've both played in the rock band Yes. John Anderson as its vocalist and Rick Wakeman as its keyboard synthesizer guy. So they've both done, this is for Rick Wakeman, this will be his second solo album. As for John Anderson, this was his first solo album. Oh yeah, they're both concept albums. So John Anderson's concept is basically about an alien planet that has to move from the alien planet and go to a different location as the planet is, I guess, being destroyed. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's what's happening. So he put this together in which he did all the vocals and all the instrumentation. Rick Wakeman's album is Journey to Center of the Earth, of course, is taken from the Jules Verne novel of the same name. He plays all the keyboard instruments on this, and then he has various people playing different stuff. This also includes the London Philharmonic Orchestra, as well as a full choir here as on this album as well. There's also a narrator that during different transitions in the album it kind of narrates what's happening up until this point. There's nothing like that on the Elias of Sun Hill. So they're both decent concepts. I think John Anderson's concept was good. His instrumentation is okay. I have to say this. It's a bit surprising. I didn't think he had it in him to do all the instruments. He does all the percussion and drums instruments. He does the bass, he does the guitars, he does the mandolin, he does all the keyboard stuff and the synthesizers. So he is full money for doing everything on here. The quality of that instrumentation, well, that's a different story, but the fact that he had the audacity, or not the audacity, but had the gumption to go and do this, all of this on his own is I think stands him in good credit. It's a very good album. I know that there's people in the prog community and on other channels that are dedicated to prog music as well that really think nothing, they don't really care for this album. But there's others that do like it, and I'm one of those people that like it. I think it's a good album. I don't think it's the great prog album that other people say it is, nor do I think it's the piece of crap that some people say it is either. I think it's a good, solid album. Lots of interesting vocal, and the story is fine. I have no problem following it. And of course, John Anderson's vocals are exceptional, as they always are, and at this period of time he was at probably his peak, although that peak hasn't changed much over the years. He still has the voice, there's no doubt about it. The instrumentation, like I said, is okay. It's passable. The other album, Rick Wakeman's Journey to the Center of the Earth, the story is very precise. You can follow right along. The narration helps as well. His keyboard is, of course, Rick Wakeman. It's incredible. He plays just about everything on here. Mellotron, organ, piano, church organ, clavinet. I don't know that he plays any harpsichord. He may have. I don't recall any on the album. I don't remember hearing anything. Drums are good. Guitar, percussion is all pretty good. The vocalist he chose for the album, also pretty strong. So I don't think he's as good as John Anderson, nor do I think John Anderson's instrumentation is good as what he's got. I found the orchestra very good, and I found the choir just as good, used in their spots to enhance the story that he's telling, which is from Jules Verne, Journey to the Center of the Earth. So then after listening to both, I had to come up with which one did I like better. Well, I do like Elias of Sun Hill quite a bit. I think if it had matched up against some of the other albums, it could have won this. I just think the Rick Wakeman album is just better made and better instrumentation. And the vocals, although not as good as John Anderson, are not bad either. I found the orchestra and the choir really added different elements to this that I wasn't seeing on other albums. So I think for today, by a slim margin, it's not a hair, but it's a fairly narrow margin, I would say. I would have given Wakeman like 7.5 here, and I would have probably given John Anderson maybe a 6 3/4 or maybe a 7 here. So John Anderson is going to lose this, but again, the main reason we do these things is to get to know different music. This is definitely an album now that I had a bit of a prejudice against going into this because of other people's opinions and because of my own original dealings with it at the beginning when we were trying to decide what John Anderson albums to get. And my friend says, well, let's stay away from Elias of Sun Hill because John does all the instrumentation on there, so he thought it would be weak. We took he took the second album, which was Animation, and I took the third album, which was Song of Seven, and then that's what worked out. So we never went back to the Elias of Sun Hill. I'm glad that I was forced to listen to it. Now I know what I'm missing, and I think it's pretty good. But Rick Wakeman wins here because just for the sheer magnificence of his own keyboard ability and the way in which he put this all together, and the use of the choir and the use of the orchestra and the use of various instrumentation, and the vocalist, although not as good as John Anderson, was good enough for this story. And the narration, I think, helped along too. So I give Rick Wakeman the win today. He will go on to the semifinals along with Steve Hackett. So we now have 2 in there, and we have 2 more battles to go. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Progressive Rock Solo Artist Album Wars. If you did, please hit the like and subscription. It's much appreciated. Any comments about either of the 2 albums, you can put those down below. Please hit the notification bell so you are notified of what is happening on the channel. And we will see you in the morning with this episode. So take care and have yourself a good night. Goodbye.